I hear my dad stumble through the front door and collide with the coffee table, sending empty wine bottles skittering across the floor. He's drunk again, but for once he doesn't swear. I know what's coming next. The argument with my stepmom. The fighting she drinks in the house while he goes to his usual sports bar, followed by my little sister crawling into my bed so she feels safe. If it hadn't been for her, I'd have run away years ago, but I stay to protect her until she's old enough to come with me. I fold my pillow over my ears, trying to enjoy the last few seconds of calm before the inevitable storm which happens around this time almost every night. Tonight it doesn't. There's no yelling, no sound of my dad lashing out. I'm just beginning to wonder what's going in when the silence is shattered by an ear-piercing scream. I know from the pitch it's my sister, Sally, and I leap from my bed, grabbing the baseball bat I've kept behind my bedroom door since the night my dad slapped me around. As I'd nursed my split lip and black eye, I'd decided I was never going to let him hit me ever again without giving him back a lot worse than I got. That was 5 years ago and he'd yet to try it. I think he could see from the way I looked at him that it wasn't worth the trouble, not when there were others he could take it out on who he knew wouldn't fight back. I enter the narrow corridor linking all the rooms in our apartment and find Sally standing at the entrance to my dad's bedroom, staring open-mouthed. She must have been on her way to my room when something stopped her in her tracks. My stepmom had passed out the sofa at 9, and as usual we'd carried her through and dumped her on their bed, so I can't understand what Sally's so transfixed by. There are noises coming from the room, but they don't sound like anything I've heard before. I tiptoe over to Sally, the baseball bat loosely held in my right hand. Put my arm around her to try to steer her away and glance into the room. Instantly I freeze. My dad's on top of my stepmom, biting at her neck, tearing at her with his teeth. Blood spraying all across the white sheets and the magnolia walls, and for some reason the first thought that enters my head is that she'll be real mad when she sees the mess. Then I think this is bad, even for him. Sally whimpers as I draw her to me, and this seems to get my dad's attention. He stops gnawing on my stepmom and turns to face us. That's when I see his eyes for the first time. They're burning with something I've never seen before, not even when he's at his worst. A second later he's on his feet and racing towards us. I don't think, I just take a step forward and swing the bat. I feel it connect with his head, and even though he's my dad, it feels good. Everything I've been bottling up since my mother died, and I realized what a mean drunk my father really was, comes bubbling to the surface. The time he beat my stepmom so badly she couldn't get out of bed for 3 days. The fact I feel trapped in my own personal hell, unable to grow as a person, to become the adult I so much want to be while I'm still under the same roof as him. I put all of it into swinging the bat again and again until he stops moving. Only then do I realize what I've done. He lies motionless on the floor, half in the bedroom, half out of it. I glance from his body to that of my stepmom. She's pale and still, and I know she's dead. Suddenly her arm trembles. Maybe it's more of a twitch, but it's definitely movement. Given how much blood she's lost, I know she can't still be alive, but she's moving. I crouch down and examine my dad's lifeless body. His eyes are open and I can see the whites are a deep red. Not the bloodshot red of when he was drunk or hungover, but something altogether different. Hesitantly, I reach out and touch him, then quickly draw back in surprise. His skin's cold. Not just cool, but as cold as ice. Then my stepmom sits up and slowly turns towards us. That's when I grab Sally's hand and run. I don't know where we're going, I just know we need to get out of here. I race down the stairs of our apartment building and within seconds we're out on the street. It's dark, but all around us I can see shadows moving. My brain's spinning, trying to process what I've just done, trying to work out what's going on all around me. Then I realize Sally's crying. I crouch down so I can look her in the eye. Look, I don't know what's happening, but no matter what, I'll keep you safe, I tell her, I promise. I try to pull her towards me, to hug her, but she resists. She sniffs and wipes her eyes with the sleeve of her pajamas. You killed Dad. I had no choice, you saw what he did to her. He'd have done the same to us. But you killed him. I understand why Sally's upset. She loves him and she's too young to really realize what a drunk he is, or rather was. And how crappy this made our lives. It's partly my fault. I try to keep as much of it from her as I can, and make sure that he never hits her the way he hits Macy. That's my stepmom's name. Well, that was her name. Suddenly Sally's eyes widen as she stares at something over my left shoulder and she screams again. I hear a noise behind me. A sort of low guttural groan, and spin round to find Macy staggering towards us. The gaping wound on her neck is dripping blood onto her pink nightdress, and her eyes now look red and empty like my dad's. Still not quite knowing what's happening, I pull Sally behind me and lift the baseball bat. Macy's eyes seem to stare straight through me and her head lolls slightly to one side, but she seems to know we're there because she's moving faster now. I wait until she's within reach and swing the bat. She goes down and instantly I feel sorry. She wasn't a bad person, not really. She'd just made some poor choices in life, the main one being marrying my dad. I don't think he even told her he had 2 kids before she moved in and found us there, but she always did her best. It's just that her best wasn't much good. A movement catches my eye and my head whips round. There, shuffling out of the darkness and into the pool of light cast by the nearest street lamp, are 3 people. I stare at them in disbelief. One has half his face missing, and the other 2 have blood stains on their clothes and around their mouths. Like Macy, they're lurching towards us, arms outstretched, quickening their pace with every step. I glance round and see another 2 coming from the opposite direction. I know we'll soon be surrounded, but I can't see a way to escape. All I can do is try to keep Sally behind me and raise the bat in readiness. Just before I can take my first swing, there's the squeal of tires and the people staggering towards us are gone, replaced by a black car. Not needing to be asked twice, I pull the back door open. I push Sally in before throwing myself after her. Almost as soon as my feet leave the ground, I feel the car accelerating away. It swings to the left and there's a dull thud as it hits something before bumping over it. I struggle to sit up and strap Sally in. While I do so, I call out to the driver, "Do you know what's going on?" "Zombies,"